Okay, thank you. Can anybody hear me now? Is this better?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful.
Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're calling in from. It's 12 noon Central, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So we'll go ahead and get started with this conversation on tribal partnerships for success, because I understand that that's a program that all of you are involved with, and we're here to support you in that work. If you'd like, you can keep yourself unmuted. You can mute yourself until you're ready to say something. I'll let you decide. But I'm going to share a few slides with you and then invite you all to share a little bit about yourselves and the work that you directly do to serve your tribal communities. So thank you again for joining us. Can you see the slide now?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm Allison Bays, and I serve at the Prevention Technology Transfer Center with our National American Indian Alaska Native Overall Center. We have a lot of different opportunities that we serve in tribal communities. And along with our director, Dr. Skinstad, and Dr. Gray, our co-director, we are hopeful that we can continue to support just a platform for you all to come together and share your ideas, share your concerns, and network with one another. That seems an important way that you've been able to connect with one another. And so if we can continue to provide that for you all for these next few months, that's what we hope to do. We are funded by SAMSHA, very much like you all. The content of this is the creation of each of you, those of us who give our input and share our ideas and our concerns and do not necessarily reflect the views or policies of SAMHSA, HHS, or our center. As we gather today, it's important to acknowledge the land and pay respect to the indigenous nations whose homelands were forcibly taken over and inhabited, past and present. We want to honor the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout generations. This calls us to commit to forever learn how to be better stewards of these lands through our actions, advocacy, support, and education. We acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced occupation of our territories, and we respect the many diverse indigenous people connected to this land on which we gather from time immemorial. While injustices are still being committed against our people on Turtle Island, today we say thank you to those that stand with us and acknowledge that land reparations must be made to allow healing for our people and to Mother Earth herself. And this document was created by 3 of my colleagues, Ella and Keely Driscoll, as well as Sean Bear, all 3 of whom come from the Meskwaki Nation, which is a settlement near our University of Iowa. This opportunity gives us an intimate way to share our ideas and our concerns. And I know that in the work that we all do, as Aurora mentioned, it's a great opportunity for us to help our people. It can be very challenging, and it's also very rewarding. As a member of the Tapilam Coahutecan Nation back home in South Texas, I see the differences that go on back in Texas versus what's going on where I live most of the time in Minnesota, and what I Indian country. I was all last week in Wyoming with the Arapaho and Shoshone communities. And yes, there are differences among our people, but we all are working towards healing in this field of prevention and addiction and mental health needs. And so I want to express to each of you a thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for taking time to partner with each other, to learn from each other in this field, and figure out how you can move forward in a positive way, because it's a struggle. One of the things I consistently heard last week is how challenging the work can be for those who are doing the work in Wyoming, specifically in a treatment center. But they continue to stay there because they see the need, they see the value in the work they do. So Ta, Isha, Aurora, continue to move forward and know that you're not alone in this path. You have others to call upon. And that's one of the things I want to invite you to share a little bit about today. We don't necessarily have to post it in the chat because we're a small group. We had a small group register, and it's important to know that and support each other in this work. So as I continue to share my screen with you all, I'm hopeful that you can see what's here. Where I reside is in the red portion. Most of the time, I'm up there in Minnesota, where the red circle is specifically way up there. However, a lot of my family is down in the purple area in South Texas. I have the opportunity to serve out of the yellow area right in the center because our center, the Native Center for Behavioral Health, sits at the house area of the University of Iowa. And we get to serve all 12 regions. We get to serve all different communities across Indian country, including Alaska. And so I don't know specifically where each of you are located. I'm going to invite you to share that in a minute, but it's really important. I think Aurora, maybe you were one of the people who brought it up. Are you in California?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you were one of the people who brought it up the last time we met was like, who's in my area? Who's doing the same kind of work I'm at? And that's important to know because you can pull together sometimes resources. You can pull together sometimes opportunities for training. And I give you the simple example of in July, I'm doing a training in Arizona, which was an original request of the San Carlos community. And now they've expanded it to the surrounding tribal communities who are in that area also. So they're sharing the resources that they have available. They're pulling together, they're networking, they're partnering together to provide training to their community so that the responsibility financially, the planning, reach out, getting the trainers isn't on one person's plate only. So they get to work together. So I wanted to share that also because it's important to know who's out. After today's event, somebody on our team will send you some follow-up resources, including the GIPRA, which is that performance review evaluation, and then some other resources as requested for prevention programs. But one of the things I want to be very clear about is that, unfortunately, fortunately, we don't fund your programs directly. However, during our gatherings for the PFS that we do, it's really being able to host a platform for you, an opportunity for you to gather once a month to share your successes, to collaborate with one another. And you can see that we've already had, including today, 7 opportunities. And we want to continue to do this for you all because some people have been able to get trainers together to support their programming, their needs, because they come to these platforms and they talk, they get each other's emails and they figure out what they can do to, again, pull their resources together. And that's what we're hoping to provide for you all. So the first question in the conversation is going back to this map. And I'd like you to share, unmute yourself and just share what region do you service? And if you want to be very specific, you can say what state you're in, what county you're in, what city you're in, or what tribal community you're in. If you're in an urban setting, it's a little bit different, obviously, but we know that there are many regional centers and you fit into one of them. We just happen to be the National American Indian Alaska Native one that can partner with you also. So who would like to go first to share who they are and what center they're connected to? And the map is up for your convenience.
Good morning. My name is Aisha Twitchell. I represent the Northwest Region 10. I'm in Alaska. In Wasilla, Alaska, we're more urban setting, and I represent Knik Tribe. I'm a coordinator for our SPIF grant. Thank you.
Thank you, Isha.
Hey. Hello. Wait, hello way up there.
Aurora, are you choosing to go next?
Sure. I'm Aurora Mamea, and I work at the Native American Health Center in San Francisco for about 25 years. And My family came out to San Francisco on a relocation act in the 60s. My grandma, her husband, 8 children, and I'm first born granddaughter in San Francisco. And I had an opportunity to move back home to our reservation in Browning, Montana, and live there for 11 of my adolescent years, and then moved back out to the Bay Area. And I do program management for the Red Vision grant, and we do GONA is some of our work that we do, prevention work. And before that, I did cultural prevention specialist work. So just, we really believe that our culture helps our youth and their families bring connection and healing. Thank you.
Thank you, Aurora. We have 2 other folks on the line, Ta and Tom. Which of you would like to go next? Tom, I see your beautiful image on your screen, but I also see that you are in front of the computer. Do you mind going next and sharing with us who you are and what region do you service?
There we go. I apologize. I had to step away for just a moment. Thank you for your patience.
Okay.
My name is Tom Anderson with the Association of American Indian Physicians. We're based here in Oklahoma City. And we have a PFS grant that we are working with the youth in Osage County. And we're doing a lot of media activity, prevention activity toward the youth up there. So thank you for including us.
Thank you, Tom.
Nice to meet you.
Same here. Thank you.
And Tom is having some microphone issues, audio issues. Region 10, Warm Springs, Oregon. Well, thank you. And Tom, you're welcome just to post whatever you need to in the chat.
Okay.
I know sometimes the lovely IT doesn't work with us the way expected to, but it's good to have you all in the line and know that the work that you do is important. You're working with adolescents specifically as Tom on a campaign, or you're doing some different family programming for prevention. It sounds like all of you are doing something a little bit different, but with the same purpose in the field of prevention science. And the work that you all do is important enough so that we can help our people stay on a healthy path and then also find ways to heal, divert from that. And so I want to say thank you for the work you're doing across the country. I know that our center does work all lower 48 and Alaska. So Aisha, it's not to say that we cannot do things up there in Alaska, because we do. I have several colleagues who've gone up there for different training events, and I am planning one in Cook Inlet in the fall. So I'll definitely keep you posted.
Here comes April, my coworker. April.
April with 2 L's. Thank you for joining us.
I'm late.
No,
Okay.
you're just on time. We're just
Okay.
trying to find out who's who and what regions you service. Where do you work specifically, April?
I work at the Native American Health Center here in San Francisco, California.
And what do you do?
I am a program coordinator. I work for our community wellness department, and we just got out of a meeting with our community wellness department.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm trying to read the chat as I listen to you all as well. So Aisha's sharing that the tribe that she works with is a beneficiary of the Cook Inlet community. So this is good news. And this is one of the reasons why we have these platforms. As I shared at the very top of the hour with you all, it's an opportunity for us to share resources, to know that you don't have to always look for trainings on your own. Our center provides them across Indian country. Many of you go to trainings or provide trainings at your centers and in your communities. And when you do, you can expand it, hopefully, and incorporate or include other tribal communities or organizations that service our people. As this is one way that we can use our dollars wisely and be fiscally responsible to be inclusive of other communities in need. Thank you all for sharing. Our next question is about hearing from you regarding the successes that you're having. Some of you just shared what you're doing right now. And sometimes we have success with the projects we're doing. And sometimes we're like, oh, we need to switch gears a little bit and make it adaptable to the community in a different way. But I want to hear about some success stories. What is working really well for your communities? When you're ready to share, you can just unmute yourself. Is there anybody who'd like to go first and share their success stories in their community?
Can you define exactly what are you looking for? Success stories.
In your program, and I'll give you an example. Last week, I was in Wyoming with the Arapaho and Shoshone communities. And we had about 70 people in the training for 3 days. And we were talking about prevention and the need for the programs that we have. And what some of the people were sharing, we had a variety. We had people who are receptionists, we had clinicians, we had a peer support specialist, we had psychologists, we had traditional practitioners who lead ceremonies. It was just a really wide range of people who served there. And one of the participants shared that in the time that she's been there, and she'd been there for several years working in the community at the treatment center, noticed that when they include, it's so interesting. She said, when we include and we remember to be inclusive of our prayer, having our traditional practitioner be a part of the process, to really be inclusive of other people from the tribal community in the process, then we're more successful. And when we don't include our prayers, when we don't include our practitioner for healing, then there are greater risks of relapse. There are greater risks of not having success with the clients. And so she was speaking as a non-native, but this is her observation there over many years, and just learning how to be inclusive of and sensitive and aware of what each tribal community's needs are. Does that help you a little bit, April?
Yeah, it sure does. So I'll start off. We work in a San Francisco in an urban area, for the community wellness department. And we were actually just talking about this morning on how successful our department has been, because we are offering, since we are in an urban setting, bringing our traditional culture and stuff into the urban area. And it's been really great with our community, because we have a lot of community members that are coming to and more and more and more. And it's bringing us together as a whole, although we are different, tribes, different affiliations, we are coming together as a people, knowing that, we're all relatives and related. And so, like, we had a water walk not too long ago, and so many people, like over 100 came. We always start out with prayer, in our groups and in any of our events that we do, but our success is bringing our community together, and that we're here and we're here to help each other. And this year, what I've seen, it has been a great success. A lot of people have, expressing how much they depend on us, and how much they, even if it's just for an elder, coming to one of our groups, because, in an urban area, they're lonely or something, and they, have that connection with the people. And it's been a very good group that we have. We have a healing Shattered Hearts group, where our community members come together, and we talk about, it's a support group, about, since there's so many loss of lives in our within our Native people that, it's a support group that we can help each other and just express and talk. And sometimes that's all they need for just healing. So each of our groups has been really successful, and I can go on and on and on and on. But this year has been is unbelievable. It's great. Our team is unbelievable. Our team that we work with, everybody here in this community wellness department, they're all, it's all about our people, and we work together as a team. And I can just say it has been very, very successful. Thanks.
Thank you, April, for sharing. And it's hard sometimes to pick just one thing because there are many successes, it sounds like, with some of your communities. And so
Yes.
I'd love to hear from, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, April.
Oh, I was just saying that's what we were talking about. We have so many events, one right after another, that, like it's nonstop, but it's tiresome, but it's good tiresome. It's all worth it. That is the reward in the end, is seeing, helping our people in our community and help that healing process.
Yeah. Thanks, April. Me and April are on the same team under Red Vision. There's me, April. Also, we have a evaluator, Hannah, and also our epidemiologist on the grant. There's 4 of us on this program. And there's a lot of other grants in our community wellness department, and we all just try to work together. And mostly on our part, we're kind of coming to, the last couple, July, August, September, 3 months of the grant. We're on year 4 of 5. Is everybody on year 4 of 5 here?
Just show your fingers. What year are you in your grant? 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. 5. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. So this is like round 3 of Red Vision that we've had at the health center. And some of our major deliverables are we do annual GONA training of facilitators. So that's coming up in the fall, and we're working with Tribal Tech and getting those set up, that free technical assistance that we get. And we've done a few of those. I want to say maybe 5 GONA training of facilitators. And I'm really excited about that. Some people get tired of GONA. They're like, oh, some people are like, what is GONA? And some people are like, oh, I'm tired of hearing GONA. We've been to so many different GONA trainings, right? So, but I'm like, I really support it, because even more and more lately in my life, it's just, I really believe in all the work that we do. Everything's a GONA, right? There's always 4 parts, which is the belonging part of whatever event or group you're doing. There's a mastery, which is we always talk about our challenges and past. It could be any kind of traumas in life, and it could be current challenges in life as well. Or there could be, and the next one's interdependence, is letting go. How do we let go or work out those challenges, and make positive commitment and goal for the future? And then the 4th one is generosity, giving back to our community. I really love that curriculum. And I love there's a 6-part GONA flow that, helps you break it down. So you can apply that to any kind of training that you do. You can have any kind of GONA. It could be, you could do a LGBTQ GONA, you could do a MMIW, domestic violence GONA, you can apply any kind of theme to GONA. And also we are doing an annual, we help out with a youth GONA, internal partnership, a 4-day camp up in Marin Headlands. And this time, this year, we're doing a peacekeepers. It's called peacekeepers to teach them how to conflict resolution and to help at the GONAs. They're kind of like the leaders. It's like a leadership training, and they help troubleshoot. And when we're at the youth GONA camp, that if conflicts arise within the youth, we bring it to them, and they conflict resolution it out, and then talk to the youth, and get them to teach them how to learn it, to work it out. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Oh, we've been doing some Sacred Bundle, their suicide prevention screeners. And I mentioned last time we learned it, I can't remember the name of the organization, but it was in Michigan. And the lady actually that started it, she's working in Sacramento at the health center up there now. Her name's Lauren, Lauren. I forget her last name, but if anyone needs more information, I could try to get the name of it. But yeah, we're doing those, and we're doing pretty good. We got 20 of those deliverables to meet, and we've met our deliverable. And so we're just kind of coming into the last 3 months of the grant, and I feel like we're sliding into home base, right? With hitting all the deliverables and stuff, and feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, there's more, grant deliverables that we have too, but yeah, just more recently too, just coming up in July, we're going to do our second annual virtual young women's, we call it Red Lightning Young Women's singing group. And I've hired a contracted young woman in the area here that I've been working with. She sings as well, and we've sung together as well in the past, cultural songs in the community here. And we've had like our groups, our women's groups that we sing with. And so we're going to do that second annual virtual series. And I'm really excited about it too. It's April's helping out with it. And it's going to be a 6-part series. And we brought in a couple extra guest speakers last year in Indian country. Tiana Spotted Thunder and a Navajo woman, you guys might have seen her on social media, Teleba Bigay, and Kalina Lawrence, these like well-known Native women singers. And so we bring them in and have them talk to the young women. And then also at the end, everyone that participated received a red ribbon skirt with a lightning bolt on the front, a red hoodie, and a shaker and a floral scarf, a starter kit, if you want to call it, right? So, and then we also encouraged them, it wasn't even part of this grant, but we're just so excited about it. We encouraged them to submit a video. And if they submit a video, they can be entered in to win a gift card, in a pool to win a gift card. And only one youth submitted so far, but it's coming along. And just that one like video that came in, you know, that mark on that deliverable to meet the media outreach, right? It says 500, right? But when you post on social media, you're going to get like 1,000, right? 1,000 views or so. So like we went way over above and beyond on that, just one video. So that was really exciting. And we're looking forward to more coming in as well. And then more recently, we just, I just threw in like a couple of last minute, we call them regalia, right? Workshops. Somebody's happens to be in town from Friendship House Association of American Indians. And so we call it piggybacking off of him being in town and have him come in to do a workshop to make some bells for youth dancers, boys. And we say, or those that identify, right, as male, and that happens this Thursday. And then the next one on Monday after that will be a belt making workshop with a local elder here who makes belts. He's going to teach how to paint belts. So yeah, I feel real excited. That's my passion. You know, I love working, doing cultural things with our youth in our community. Thank you.
I just want to piggyback off of what Aurora said. You know, for the Red Lightning singing group, the youth group, it not only that, it had living here in the urban setting. For our little Native girls, it gives them a sense of identity and culture and learning passed down traditional songs. So it became very powerful, and we realized how powerful that was to pass that on to our urban youth.
Can I share one more thing? I'm sorry. That's why I didn't want to say anything earlier, because once I start talking, I'm going to keep talking. But I just want to share also, like, I feel really good about, we have like a virtual traditional consultants that come in, elders, right? They don't really come in, but we work with them virtually with our community. And so there's a lot of moms out there, you know, struggling with whether they have teens, mainly teens, you know, and transitional age youth too. And so I'm able to like hook the parents up, you know what I mean, with some support around that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking in the fall or winter, I want to do a fatherhood, motherhood is sacred workshop, 12-week series, you know, pair up with another person in our organization, and it just brings some of create that space for parents to have a place to go to, a support place. And so a lot of our youth are struggling with many different things. And I don't know if you guys heard, but recently I looked on we always go from time to time, we look at the SAMSHA, what's it called, PTTC, Prevention Technology Center website, because they want you to kind of use stuff and information off of there to create your media messaging and outreach. And I didn't really find a whole lot of stuff in the past, but more recently I found it's called Johnny's Ambassadors. And I happened to see that it was also shared on the PTTC website. And I'm really excited about it because it's talking about marijuana, right? And marijuana is a big thing right now with all our youth. Like, everybody's trying it. And the sad part is that it's not what it used to be. It's not natural. They say it's natural from the earth, but it's not. And the lady has a video on there that breaks it down, just how many bad addictive chemicals are in there, and that it's actually leading to like psychosis and schizophrenia. mental health disorders as well. And the young man on there had actually committed suicide. But yeah, just all kind of connected, and very powerful webinar and message if you get a chance to check that information out.
Mm.
Thanks.
And that was called Johnny's.
Ambassadors, yeah. And I seen it on the SAMHSA Prevention Technology Center website, and I was happy to see it on there. You could Google it on YouTube, Johnny's Ambassadors, and it's about marijuana and how her son committed suicide.
Well, thank you for sharing. It sounds like there's a lot of important work being done in the Bay Area, and I know it continues across the country. When you have great ideas or you come across something that you find working well for your community, it's important to share it, because sometimes in other parts of the country, we might be struggling with programming that we thought would work. We're taking it from a Western-based prevention and we think, oh, it's been proven to work. It's been proven to be effective. And then we try it with our own community and it's like, nope, this didn't work. So what do? There are a lot of wonderful resources coming out that are emerging, that are fairly new with a Native perspective. And it's really important to look at what we offer from a Native perspective. And so a lot of the programming that April and Aurora just shared are speaking to that very specific way in which they do things at their center. Ta put in the chat, I don't know if everybody had a chance to see it, but she's a prevention manager up in Oregon, and they have 2 workers under the grant. And one of their successes this year was to hire youth for the summer and have them prepared to do some prevention activities and leading. So hopefully you've got your summer workers under control, Ta, because we're in the middle of June, as well as another success to teaching the young people how to make drums. And that's important. Again, looking at our culture, the strength of our culture, the strength of our people, and incorporating that into is important. So thank you all for sharing. Phil joined a little bit late. Hop in and tell us what region you serve, where you're at, and maybe a success that you have in your community. You're muted. There you go.
Good morning. My name is Phil Stevens. I'm Navajo. I'm originally from Arizona, but I work with the Eastern Shoshone Recovery Center. But we were underneath a name change. Now we're called Doyanatsu, which means in Shoshone Medicine Mountain. Doyanatsu Healing Center is our new name, and we did accomplish a lot of things through the PFS grant. We helped them did the recovery sobriety power for the youth and the elders all combined in the community last year during September, which was a big success. And then we also normally kick off our summer youth with cedar gathering. We go into the Wind River Canyon, take the youth, and we'll take an elder with them, and then they'll talk about cedar to the young ones and making offers. So we made a tobacco offering and water, and then I myself, in my way, I did the offering of the corn pollen. Then we had the kids to pick their cedar, and we did it again this year. Last Monday, we went into the canyon and we did the same thing what we did last year. It was a very successful. This year, we combined it with the adult group. So we took everybody that came to the Well-Brighty group with the youth this year. So it was, we had a fun day. We had people just kind of like mingle with the youth and talk to them too, what they go through and what they have learned. And so we did the same thing as last year. And then this year, we partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. We helped them with the 18 and under basketball tournament, and we had a big turnout. So my goal this year is I want to kick off underneath the PFS grant sobriety 3-on-3 tournament in September. That is my goal. I'm in the process of planning it. And I have a lot of things planned for my summer youth, like going into the sinks and being reconnected to the Mother Earth, and then identifying medical herbs that I'm using. One of the Shoshone elders taught to the kids and how to make it and what it looks like, identifying it. And then we're also taking the kids bowling, so which is another community event that we want to get the kids involved, because a lot of the kids, if you just bring them to your group, they'll get bored within 30 minutes. So we do a lot of activities. We'll do a clinical for at least an hour. And then we go out and do archery to make them not get bored. And so we've been doing that. And we're doing the same thing this year too, is do the morning clinicals and then take them out on archery. Like today, they're out with the Father's Day spa that they're doing right now, which is out. They went out to the river to go fishing. So they're doing that right now while I'm here. So I like to combine and get my youth involved with the adult, and then adult with the youth too. So they were all connected. So we've been doing that. And then we did the Gona beginning of June to the youth Gona, which it was a big successful Gona that we did again. So, and then the horse culture, which is the one thing that we started it, and a lot of kids like riding horses. So we always do that every summer.
Awesome.
We have the horse riding from 5:30 to 7:30. So, 2 hours of fun, and they really enjoyed that. That's one of our big success that we've been under this grant. So and then this year I want to try the camping, take the youth camping on a one-night camping trip and tell stories out there. Campfire, hopefully they let us build campfire. So we're going to a camping site called the Red Desert. So, and then talk about reconnecting to Mother Earth, what it means in a native point of view, being connected, and the Shoshones and the Rapos. I've never seen a sun dance, but the main pole is the sun dance pole, is that tree. I always talk to the kids when we take them out to the mountain, say, if you are down, go touch a tree, meditate. You don't have to really talk. Hold that tree, meditate. You'll get that healing energy. That's what I share with them. So we do a lot of activities going into the mountains, which we are going to do next month too. Take the kids out to Moccasin Lake and just spend the day out there. That's what one of the things. And then plus we have a garden outside that they garden every morning, that they go out and water it, and pull weeds. And then I tell them, say, hey, this is how you take care of them. Whatever harvest, fruit, vegetables that we harvest out there, our goal is to cook for a community, maybe 5, 10 elders that we want to share that meal with. So that's one of our goals too, is gardening for the summer. So winter, we just pretty much just do the winter storytelling and just the youth and community swept that we usually do twice a month. So we got that all. That's how we've been using the fundings from the PFS. So I appreciate the grant. It's a good thing that we got here in the community here in Wyoming, Fort Washakie, Wyoming. So that's all I got to share with you guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Philip, I
Thank
was
you.
there last week and I missed you, I guess. I was with people from Medicine Mountain and White Buffalo We were doing training up in Riverton. So somehow I missed meeting you while I was there.
You know, you said you were gonna come by and I was like, where? I never got an email. I did send an email to Native Center and nobody replied.
Oh my
What
goodness.
day was she coming? I had said, and I knew you were coming. I thought that's what I was gonna ask you. I said, well, are you gonna come visit me at recovery?
Oh, well, I didn't go to the recovery centers.
You were at CWC, right?
What Sunny did is she invited everybody to the Holiday Inn. They're at the, I know it's on Federal, I guess is the main room.
Yeah, it's on Federal.
Yeah,
Holiday
down there in
Inn.
Riverton. So we had people come on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from both Medicine Mountain and White Buffalo come to the training.
Is this the
We did motivational interviewing
yeah.
and expert, the screening brief, referral to treatment.
You know what, I didn't go because we were busy with our youth and I wanted to go, but I know Dorcas and Delane and those guys went from
Yeah,
here. Yeah, Doyanatsu, Medicine Mountain.
yes.
Yes.
Well, next time, you know, Sunny has been connected with our center for many years. And so she's the one who invited us to go out there. And as I shared with everybody at the very beginning of our time, is that, you know, what we offer is free of charge to those who serve in the prevention field, the services that we do for training, to help you all find ways to serve your communities better. And
Mhm.
when we have those opportunities of an invitation, we do our best to meet them.
You know, I could have canceled my planning last week, and then I was like, hey, this is our first week of youth group starting up, so we can. I could have.
Well, I'm sorry, but there was a reason you had to be with the youth, and we'll have to reconnect another time.
Yes, maybe we'll do it here. Maybe I'll invite you and you can come out here. We'll do it at Fort Washakie. Because I think all our tribal programming needs help here. I think so. We can get together on it and then plan it and then bring you in and you can help us out here.
Very good. Yeah, I'll share at the very end what are some trainings that we're planning for the fall. But before I get to that, thank you all for sharing. Those of you who have. Isha, did you have anything you want to share before we move forward? A success story?
Our community has really been able to build a sense of Native community over the past, I want to say 6 months. Because we are in an urban setting, you know, we have to be more intentional about, cultural activities, or, you know, because we're not in rural Alaska or rural environments where like it's all around us. And our community here is it's just a little bit different. You know, I remember when I first moved here, I was looking around and I was like, where's all the Native people? I found them at bingo. Anyways, we have a once a week, Wednesday evening cultural night. And so that's been really nice to increase our community involvement, you know, with elders and families and children. And I primarily work with youth prevention programs. And we do, you know, various things similar to what you guys are all doing. And currently we're adapting Healing of the Canoe prevention curriculum, and we're adapting it to our culture here, the NAIAN culture. It's Dene. Anyway, yeah, thanks.
Did you say that y'all are doing some adaptations from the Navajo culture, Dene?
No, the NAIAN, it's
Okay.
the Athabascan community here in South Central Alaska, and we're adapting it. Healing of the Canoe prevention curriculum is a Suquamish curriculum, and they allow for adaptation. So we're adapting it from the Suquamish tribal community to the Dene culture here, which is similar to like the Navajo Dene dialect and culture in the lower 48.
Okay, thank
Thank
you. Well, I really appreciate learning about the good work that y'all are doing. And, you know, Philip, you alluded to like what goes on in the winter, what you're doing right now with the summer, with your Taradine and all the important things y'all are doing in the garden. And I think it's really important to be mindful of, you know, we change with the seasons of the work, the hands-on work, if you will, with our people, that we get them outdoors, get them doing stuff, whether it's out in the woods, out in the mountains, out in the water, you know, to do things when we can, because if we're in an urban setting, we have to really plan those kinds of things because they're not right around the corner. They might be an hour or two drive away. So I want to commend you all and say thank you all for the work that y'all are doing for the summer, and start planning, you know, what's going to happen 3 or 4 months down the road when winter comes in. The weather gets very, very cold for some of us. Some of us can't get out as easily, but we can still continue to look for services that do work for our community, whether it's telling stories, learning songs, in some areas playing some outdoor games still, depending on what part of the country you live in. So be mindful of how you plan for the future. Everybody said that they're at the end of year 5 for their grant. And so I don't know what the next step is for each of you come the end of the grant year, but my hope is that the services will continue. Hopefully you applied for a follow-up grant, because I know the NOFA went out recently for people and you got yours in on time so that the services can continue for our young people. Are there any concerns that anybody would like to share before I
Just want to say that thank you, Philip, for sharing that with us and the connection with the earth that you're doing with the youth. That's very positive.
Yeah, I just want to say that too. You know, hearing that, it just, wow, made me really happy to hear. I love those teachings, you know, of like hugging a tree. It's like so true, you know. And I know I wish we could be on the call like longer with each other to just keep talking and talking. And I know that we're on a limited time here today. But yeah, I agree with a lot of those, and it just makes my heart happy, and it makes me almost feel like I want to exhale just hearing all that good work that everybody's doing out there. Thank you.
Makes me want to join your youth group.
Well, I'm sure Philip will take the extra people to help out over there occasionally if you can spare your time. So Aurora, thank you for sharing that. I think what I would like to do, the next one is planned on the calendar, and I can extend it for an hour and a half if that helps people figure out. And I understand you all have schedules, work, family. So if you can hop on for 30 minutes and you have to leave, Tom messaged me privately and said he had to hop off for another meeting, another get together, and Todd did the same thing. So I get it. I know there are many obligations that you have aside from the prevention work that you do, or aside from joining a meeting like this. So if you can, I will make it a little bit longer at your request, Aurora, but know that you're not obligated to stay for the entire hour and a half, because it can be tough for some of our schedules. Are there any concerns that anybody would like to share, since we already talked about some of the successes? Moving forward, are there any current needs that you have for your programs that we might be able to support?
Yes, I have a need. Do you have any updated like statistical information for like handouts for marijuana use, alcohol use, and suicide?
I know yes for alcohol, because we just did one last month. We did a new fact sheet for that. So I worked on that product with some of our teammates. So I can send you that for sure.
Okay.
For cannabis, I don't sit on the committee. The National Prevention Office has a committee for cannabis. It's a work group, but one of my colleagues sits on it. So I will ask him what they are currently working on, if he has anything to share with me for that. So I could forward that on to you as well. And in regard to suicide, we do have some things that are coming out of our trauma center, because under the umbrella of the work that we do, we have the mental health, the addiction prevention, and we have a trauma stress initiative for children. And we have had probably at least 2 to 3 requests in the last few weeks regarding that very topic. So they did something last year that they want to do an update to, but I'll send you whatever we have regarding that also. Again, I know it's over a year old, so they are revisiting, looking at new prevention programs for that, new information, so that it's more current for our communities. So I'll send you what they have on that. And the marijuana, again, like, I'm just not sure. I know I haven't done anything recently on it, but thank you. I'll definitely send those out to you.
I would like some information and pamphlets on that's marijuana as well too.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just even looking at the Johnny Ambassador thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to share this with the youth, the video, the webinar, but it's a little bit of a long webinar. So I mean, I probably have to show like a portion of it. But pamphlets would be nice too. Some kind of pamphlets. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And if you can't think of anything in the moment while we're live online together, we hang up tomorrow, something comes to mind, please send me an email. I'll do my best to send out things to you as you need. And we also have hard copy items. I don't have any with me because I'm back home in Texas right now and I have limited resources here in my home office. But we have a lot of hard copy materials on the sacred use of tobacco, culture as prevention, incorporating your tribal leaders into prevention efforts, how to use motivational interviewing in this field of prevention as well as addiction and treatment. So those are some things. If you go through our website and you find something that pops at you, you're like, oh, I wish I had these in my hand. If you find something that you'd like to have printed as a hard copy, send me an email and we do our best to print them up and mail them out to you all so that you can keep them as resources in your centers. So thank you all for asking. I have 3 programs here on the screen for you all to look at for just a few moments. This is what's coming down for us in the fall, because these are the 3 programs that SAMSHA is encouraging us to offer. And our center specifically has taken the time to make adaptations to these or revisions to the preventative competencies. Is a 6-module course that speaks to preparing people for the field of prevention science, prevention work. And so we want to offer this in the fall with a Native perspective. So keep that in mind, be on the lookout. It probably won't be till September or October before we offer our first session. Other centers are already doing it, but they're offering the standardized, westernized versions of it. We are choosing to make it meaningful to our community with a Native perspective. Then there's the moderated ethics, which we are also indigenizing, because it's important to speak to how we hold our own cultural values as important ways of our knowledge base. And so we'll be offering that in the fall. And that's a shorter course. That's only 3 hours. You can do it online with the standardized version, the westernized version. Ours will probably be about a 2-hour virtual live session, but it'll be indigenized. Those are the 2 new offerings we'll be having in the fall. The one that we've been doing for a while now is the American Indian Alaska Native Substance Abuse Prevention Skills Training, the SAPST. We offer that probably every other month. We're doing it again in July for the San Carlos area people. I'm going there in person with some trainers. We'll be doing that, but I'm already planning the ones for the fall because Cook Inlet has asked us to provide that in person, and so has Montana, the state of Montana. So tribal communities in that area have asked for it. So we're looking at how do we provide some of these in person and how do we provide some of them virtually. So if there's anything specific of these 3 that you would like, please let me know, send me an email, and then we can have a conversation further. to see what would work for your community, your team, the people at your office. Know that our next conversation will be on July 18th at 12 noon, and I'll make it run till 1:30 so we can have a little bit extra time for people to hop on, hop off, but July 18th. And I'll email y'all the registration link for that. Are there any comments or questions before we hop off for today? You'll get a follow-up email from me, so don't worry. Things that I shared on the screen, I'll share with you via email as I get dates for those 3 curricula, the prevention core competencies, the moderated ethics, as well as the SAPs. As we start getting dates for the fall, I'll be publishing those dates for you all in case you want to be a part of those trainings or send somebody from your team. All 3 of them help prepare people in the prevention field to become professional prevention specialists, where you can actually work towards getting your certification with the IC and RC. Those 3 trainings are what are required for preparation for that exam. And so they're important trainings to go to. They do take time from your schedule, much more than an hour, hour and a half, but they're important ways that you can train and be better prepared to serve in your field of prevention science, and do it from a Native perspective, using our Indigenous ways of knowing, our knowledge base as the strength for prevention. I want to say thank you to each of you for taking time out of your schedules to be on the call today. I will send a follow-up email. Have a great afternoon. Kia ana. Ahiha. Thank you all. Haho, depending on where
Thank
you're
you,
at.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.